Hey everyone, welcome to Mr. Teach Film Preach, and if you're a film lover like I am, and you learn from films as much as I do, then you are in the right place. Consider liking down below and subscribe to my channel as well. Also, while you're down there, comment below, what did you think of Creed 3? What do you think of this franchise? Are you a Rocky fan? What is your favorite Rocky Creed film out of the bunch? And while you're down there, click like and subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to hit that bell button to notify you when I've released more videos. Today we're talking about the 2023 sports boxing drama film, Creed 3. Directed by Michael B. Jordan, starring Michael B. Jordan, Tessa Thompson, and Jonathan Majors. Adonis, Bianca, and their daughter Amara are living a great life when, out of nowhere, his former childhood friend and boxing prodigy Damian resurfaces. He believes he deserves his shot at a title, and a face-off is inevitable between the two former friends and becomes more than just a shot at the title, something more personal.
Think you mad? Try spending half your life in a cell, watching somebody else live your life.
First of all, I'm a fan of the Rocky franchise. I've really enjoyed the Creed films as well. I love boxing movies in general. The first Creed came out, I was a little bit hesitant, but decided to go check it out because I had seen Ryan Coogler's film Fruitvale Station before and was interested to see him take on this Creed film. And I loved it. In fact, it went to be one of my favorite movies of that year. Yes! And when Creed 2 was announced, I didn't see it until like 3 days ago before Creed 3 came out.
Why not?
Really enjoyed Creed 2. It wasn't as good as the first Creed, but still had a really great time. I thought it was a great addition to the Creed trilogy. I thought it was a solid entry. Wasn't my favorite one, no, but it was still really great. I think it was kind of on par with Creed 2, where some things about Creed 3 I thought were way better, and some things about Creed 2 I thought were better. First of all, Michael B. Jordan in the directing chair was great. And when you think about all the movies he's done, all the connections he has, all the people supporting him behind the camera, he did a great job with this movie. A really solid directorial debut from Michael B. Jordan. He apparently was inspired by Dragon Ball Z and used like references from Dragon Ball Z in this film to kind of make the style of the fights. And for that reason, it's a very different fighting style film than what the other two Creed movies are.
It's over 9,000!
I really love the slow motion punches, and you can see like punches making contact with the body and like sweat bouncing off the back, and really slowing down the frames. There's a particular fight at the end of the movie, totally uses this metaphoric style fight. I thought overall it was really great. I thought it was a great stylistic choice to show, 9-10 rounds of boxing without actually showing every single round. I thought it was really creative, and I really appreciated the direction and tone that Michael B. Jordan brought to this movie. He didn't just copy Ryan Coogler, he brought his own tone, his own style to it. And for that, I appreciate it. I thought he brought to the table was really great. This is also a little bit of a different film than the other two Creeds, where this film is set a little bit ahead in the future, but he's very successful. So it's really about Creed being extremely successful in modern times and how he's dealing with balancing that with his life as a husband, as a father, balancing his work life with his business and his empire that he's built and his legacy. And then he has this character from his past come back and interrupt his life, and his past is catching up with him even before meeting Rocky. So it's a different film that it shows him balancing all these things and trying to figure out what he's gonna do, compared to there's a villain, there's a champion, there's an underdog, and then he fights against the person in the end. This film is not like that. It's a bit different that way, and I really appreciated that. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't as formulaic and didn't feel as rehashed as Creed 2 did. Creed 2, it has Drago and his son, and it kind of feels like the same movie from Rocky 4, kind of used that template and just built a Creed movie around that. This one felt like a very personal story. It was very meaningful for Adonis. Michael B. Jordan was awesome again as Adonis. What a great franchise role for him. He went emotionally in some places in this film that he didn't even quite reach in the first two. And I have always thought since the first Creed film that the character of Adonis has been very well established and well written. Jonathan Majors coming in, he is a powerhouse performer. Massive fan of his over the last few years. Delivers this gut punch, no pun intended, this gut punch performance that is awesome. He is such a great foil to Adonis. Guilt and shame that Adonis feels to what happened to his friend Damian, and I love their dynamic. But Jonathan Majors coming in and just delivering another awesome performance. He was just Kang in Ant-Man and the Lost Quantumania. He was in Devotion a couple of months ago, so he's having just a really great streak of awesome, well-made movies right now. And of course, Tessa Thompson being a staple from the first film and from the second movie, and just such a great powerhouse performance in all three of her films. I love her character, Bianca. This movie was only like an hour and 56 minutes, so it was under 2 hours, and I love that run time. Even if it did feel a bit rushed at times, like we get to the third act all of a sudden and like it just rushes right to the end to get to that final fight scene, where the first act was really long and the second act seemed to develop a lot of things, and then it was like, oh yeah, now we gotta get to the fight scene and here we go. And it felt very rushed at the end. But I still appreciate that they really trimmed down this movie and tried to make it as streamlined and as focused as possible. Even if they could have spent maybe like 5-6 more minutes just extending out that conflict at the end of the second act and into the third act of this film. A couple of things that I didn't think quite worked about this movie. I didn't feel emotionally invested in this story. Like, I was into the movie and I was really entertained. I was having a fun time, but there are beats and moments and times in the story with some of the characters that I know they're trying to elicit a lot of emotion out of us, but I just couldn't quite get invested in it as much as I did with the first and even the second film. Where the second film, you know, after he gets brutally beaten by Drago and he finds out he has a baby coming, I really liked that story and Rocky helping him and helping Adonis out. Where in this movie, I just, maybe because Rocky wasn't there, and I don't think Rocky would fit into this story. So then I was just kind of feeling empty without Rocky being there. So I just don't know if I was emotionally invested in this movie as much as I was in the first two. This one felt a lot more just personal to Adonis, which I like as a character study, and for a chance to Michael B. Jordan to really show off his acting chops. I'm just not as emotionally invested in his own personal past. And he kind of gets himself caught in the situation. The conflict comes from him doing some really dumb decisions that I don't think anyone in actual real life, if you stopped and think about it, would do. Stretching that believability that it's not really set in a real world, but the other two films do that and they do ground it. And this one feels a little bit more stylized and a little bit more Hollywood-ish. I don't know if this story really fits Rocky to be in this movie. Like at the end of this Creed 2, he went to go and reconcile with his son. I don't think there's room for him in Creed 3. But it would have been really nice to have him do something very critical in this movie, or this was maybe going to be his last role as Rocky. But then it would have taken a lot of screen time away from Damian and developing that adversary, and I really appreciate that they did that. We really got to spend a lot of time with Damian. You see where he's coming from. If you put yourself in his shoes, you probably would do the same things that he's doing. Is why he is one of the best adversaries, antagonists in the Rocky Creed franchise. I understand if people aren't happy about what the studio did, how they treated Sylvester Stallone, and I understand that people won't want to go see this movie. I get that. I totally respect that. I didn't necessarily feel that way, even though I did miss Rocky in this movie. I didn't feel like it crushed the movie. They wanted to really highlight Adonis and that it's his time to shine, and really he's taken over and his legacy, and not Rocky behind him supporting him like he really did in the first two films. So I get it on one end, and I'm also disappointed on another end. The script has some plot holes in it, and in that regard, the writing wasn't the greatest, but I can still forgive it because it is such a great time, and I do enjoy this franchise and these characters. I think the first Creed film is an A, the second Creed film is the B+, and I think ultimately, I'm gonna have to go ahead and give Creed 3 a B+ as well. What did you think of Creed 3? I would love to hear your thoughts and comments down below. What is your favorite Rocky film? What is your ranking of the Creed movies? I would love to hear them in the comment section. And while you're down there, click that like button and subscribe to my channel for more content. Also, don't forget to hit that bell button to notify you when I've released more videos. Thank you for checking out Mr. Teach Film Preach. Come back and check out some other videos like Cocaine Bear, Knock at the Cabin, and Plane. Come back and check out some other videos, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a great day, everyone. Stay focused, stay awesome, and as always, let's get Todd.